Okay, it is time for some action and for some case studies. And in this video, I will explain you how you can count calories that you eat, how you can count calories that you burn. And this entire video, I'm going to be talking about how you can lose weight, and I will actually give you a case study of how I personally was able to lose 15 pounds of weight within about 2 months period. And long after that, I was able to maintain that healthy weight. And the great thing about the case study that I will be talking about is that this whole case study reveals one secret. I cannot even call it a secret, but it's a confusion that I was going through when I was working hard and I was trying to lose weight, and I did a lot of stuff, but I could not do that. I could not lose weight, and I was struggling with that. And then it was like a aha moment. I just started doing something differently, and it was a very small, tiny bit, which I started doing differently, and I just got the results. And now everything is so clear to me, and I'm going to share this little secret with you. But let's get back to the calories counting. Before we get to the case study, let me just give you a few things about calorie counting. So, as you already know, the secret to losing weight is that you have to burn more calories than what you eat, or vice versa, you eat less calories than what you burn. And during the day, you consume some food and it gives you energy, and then you are staying active, and to stay active you burn some energy. So you consume energy and you burn energy, and if you consume more energy than what you burn, you're gonna gain weight. And if you consume less energy than what you burn, then you're gonna lose weight. As simple as that. And over here, I'm on the website of calculator.net. And this specific calculator is for calories, calorie calculator. Don't worry about the link, we will include it in the course. What this calculator does is it calculates how many calories you burn. It gives you an estimate. And all you need to specify is just your age, your height, your weight, your gender, and your activity level. And that's it. Let's do this for my example. I am 32, male, I'm 6.2, and I was 200 pounds when I started doing this exercise. And then by that time, I was lightly active and I was exercising about 3 times per week. This is my activity level. And you can choose different other activity levels, which we will talk about a bit later. So I press calculate button, and what it does, let me make it just slightly bigger. No, that's too much, I guess. Okay, what it does, it shows me that I'm burning at that level 2,605 kilocalories a day. So that's what I need to burn to maintain my weight. And if I want to lose weight, for example, if I want to lose 1 pound per week, then I should be burning, I should be eating 2,150 calories. That's what I should eat if I want to lose 1 pound per week. And the rule is simple. About 3,000 to 3,500 calories deficit will burn 1 pound of weight. Meaning that if during the week you ate something like 20,000 calories and you burned 23,000 calories, then most likely you will lose about 1 pound of weight. So difference in 3,000 to 3,500 calories, well, actually kilocalories, will get you 1 pound of weight difference. Meaning that if you are, well, like in my case, if I'm burning 2,600 and 550 calories a day, and I'm eating only 2,150 calories a day, then my deficit is, I'm gonna take this number and subtract this one from that one. So 2,650 minus 2,150 is equal 400. So if I'm eating only this number of calories and I'm burning this, then I have a deficit of 400 calories a day. We multiply that by 7 because there are 7 days in a week. 7 multiplied by 400, that's gonna be 2,800 kilocalories. So these guys assume that 2,800 calories is equal to 1 pound of weight. Hopefully that's clear for you. I'm not gonna go too much into details. Let's just look at some other activity levels. Let's calculate basal metabolic rate for me. As you already know, basal metabolic rate is how many calories you burn if you stay in rest the whole day and if you are in normal temperature. And my BMR is 1927 calories. There is not much of what you can do with this number. Having this calculator that shows you, that does a lot of other calculations. Usually BMR, you can take BMR as your base to calculate how many calories you burn based on your activity level during the day. But this is just the example to show you that BMR is gonna be lower than what your normal calorie burn with some activity level. So let's just get back to this number. So at some point, now I'm slowly moving to the case study that I want to talk about. And that case study is about how I lost about 15 pounds of weight in slightly over 2 months. And at that time, I was 200 pounds in weight. And I was slightly active. I was working out about 3 times a week. And basically, I was burning 2,605 calories, around that. And then let me show you what I have. As I told you, I was trying to lose weight like crazy. I'm really passionate about healthy lifestyle, and 200 pounds is not like super fat or obese, but this weight was not comfortable for me. My comfortable weight is 185 pounds. That's when I have most of my energy. That's when I can do anything. And I was doing a lot of things. I was trying to lose weight and I did so many things and I could not get to the results. And I was so frustrated before I got to this point when I started calculating calories, and that was the aha moment. What I discovered is that in spite of I was thinking that I'm not eating too much because I was consuming small portions of food. But when I calculated how much calories I was eating, that was insanely a lot. I was consuming more than 5,000 calories while I was burning only 2,600. Can you imagine? That means that I was gaining almost 1 pound every day. That's crazy. It wasn't completely like that, but that was close. And let me just show you a spreadsheet where I calculated calories. So in this spreadsheet, first just let me introduce it to you a little bit, because it does look a little bit complicated. So in this spreadsheet, I count calories. And there are several months here. Like, for example, right now here, I'm in May, and that's when I started counting calories. Then I have June, July, etc. So for May, I have these numbers here, and those are days in the months. So this is May 1, May 2, May 3, 4, 5, etc. And I started calculating calories on May 7th, etc. And then I was doing that to the end of the months. Then I was tracking my weight. So this number is weight in pounds. Then I was tracking calories that I burned, calories that I consumed, deficit. And this is the list of food that I was eating. So the food item and how many calories this food brings with each portion. And each portion is, I calculate it in grams because I'm from Europe and I'm more used to using grams than ounces. You do your magic in your own units. So I have a list of food how many calories each food brings into my body, and then how many portions of food I was consuming. For example, a bowl of salad would give me 100 calories. And sometimes I would consume one bowl of salad during the day, and sometimes it would be two. And then I did some calculation, calories consumed. So this number is actually calculated. It multiplies these two numbers and just gets to the number. I will not be giving you too much details about how I calculate that. I'm sure you can do that yourself, or you can Google some calorie calculators. I know that MyFitnessPal has some applications, some mobile apps that allow you to track calories that you eat. There are a lot of different ways. If you are interested in getting spreadsheet like this one, probably just contact us and we will be happy to share it with you. But here's it. My first day, that's when I had aha moment. So on May 7th, I just decided to calculate calories that I burned. And let's see that I was consuming. This number here, that's what I was consuming. 5,375 calories. And I did not feel like I was eating too much. I was eating healthy. I was eating nuts and I was eating salads. I was eating all healthy food, but I still was gaining weight. And this is the key. I was gaining weight because I was eating more than 5,000 calories while I was burning only 2,600. Can you imagine what happens there? And sure enough, the next day I gained half a pound. So my weight before was 199.6, and the next day I was at 200. That's insane. And when I started calculating calories in food that I eat, I quickly discovered which foods were high in calories and which foods were not high in calories. The biggest mind-blowing thing for me was walnuts. I had no idea that walnuts are that high in calories. So 100 grams of walnuts has 650 kilocalories of energy. And I was eating like almost a pound of nuts every day. That's something that was killing me. And I had no idea what I was doing before I actually checked out how many calories are there in walnuts. And I was doing even worse. I was doing that before I go to sleep. So it's like 8 to 9 p.m. and I feel hungry. So I go like, oh, I'm not gonna eat like fish steak or something big. I'm gonna just get some nuts. I get a small bowl of nuts and that's it. And I consider that to be healthy diet. I consider it because that's not a huge volume of food. I eat it. I should not gain weight because in volume, that's not a lot of food. Just a little bit of nuts. But 300 grams of walnuts, that equals to 2,000 calories. So this is the mistake I was making. Before going to bed, when I felt a little hungry, I was consuming 2,000 calories. That's almost my daily intake. And I was doing that just a couple hours before going to bed. But then was another discovery. I love Cobb salad. This is one of my most favorite things. And I meet with my mentor on a weekly basis. We go to one of local restaurants and Cobb salad is my favorite one over there. And it looks healthy. Well, at least to me, it looked healthy. And it is in some certain level healthy because it's a lot of salad, it's shrimp, but in addition to that, it's a lot of cheese and a lot of oil. And when I checked out calories for the Cobb salad, different websites were giving me numbers from 1,000 to 1,500. So within just one plate of salad, which I was considering that it was a healthy meal, and it was a healthy meal in some level, but what I was considering something that was helping me to lose weight, I was consuming almost half of my daily intake with that salad. So I discovered that and I stopped, just stopped consuming that salad. And I did not stop. I subtracted it with lighter version, which had less oil, which had less cheese. And it was the same delicious, but it was different. And when I calculated all that, I figured out, wow, I'm eating more than 5,000 calories. And that was the aha moment. I just didn't know how many calories I was eating. And I assumed, and I was mistaken, that I was not eating too much. But I was eating way, way over what should be eating. So the next day, I just started counting calories before I was eating them. The previous day, I just sat down and calculated what I've eaten like during the day, having no idea of how many calories was in each meal that I was consuming. But the next day, before I go and eat something, I first check, okay, so how many calories are there? And doing this helped me fine tune my diet. It's not even like I'm not when I say diet, I'm not saying that I was struggling, I was always hungry. When I say diet, it's just the way I eat. And that's what I mean by diet. So my diet, it was the same delicious. I was eating pretty much all those products that I was eating before, and I subtracted just a few of those which were really heavy on my body with some lighter versions, and I started counting calories. So the next day I consumed only 2,000 calories. Well, 1,980 calories. And then I consumed 1,500. Then I consumed 2,000. Then 2,000, about that, 2,300, 1,600, etc. I started counting my calories. And sure enough, you can see that my weight was going down. So 200 pounds, my starting point. The next day, when I just cleared up my body and I did not clog it and I did not eat too much walnuts and too much of high calorie food, the next day my body just eliminated more than 1 pound of weight. And that's normal. That's probably was some water. It wasn't more than 1 pound of fat. Your body weight fluctuates. But the thing is that, so May 7th I started, then let me bring it back. So July 17, actually July 16, my weight was down to 185. So 200 down to 185 in slightly over 2 months. And right now is what is it? September. So it's a few months later that I'm eating my healthy diet and I'm at the same weight and I have a lot of energy. I sleep not as much as before and I'm just happy. I'm so comfortable with my weight and with my body, and this is just who I am. By the way, check out this weight difference here. On July 15, I was 188 pounds, and on July 16, I was 185. And there is a dramatic change in there. Can you guess what I did? I still consumed about the same amount of calories. So, what is it? 1900? Oh no, 1775. That's about average of what I was doing before. But there is one difference. On that day, I started consuming less of sodium. So I reduced the amount of salt that I was eating. And I intentionally did that. I just wanted to experiment with that. And as you know, salt retains water in your body. And as soon as you reduce amount of sodium that you consume, your body is going to release a lot of water. And within just a few days, you will notice an insanely huge difference in your body weight, as I did in my case. So I jumped down from 188.4 to 185.1. That's a huge difference. That's a lot of water, folks. And I encourage you to do this experiment. Just if you eat too much salt, try to limit that. Do not stop eating sodium completely. That's not going to be good for your health. Your body still needs some sodium, but try to limit it. Eat less salt, and you will see a huge difference in your weight because your body will react to that almost immediately. Before I continue on to showing you some of the labels for food exercise, let me show you a few more things in that in my spreadsheet, and just explain you some of the things. So first of all, see this this empty spot here, as well as in June. I had several days when I was not tracking calories. That's when I was traveling. I should be honest, I was in some way I was too lazy to keep tracking calories that I burned and I ate while I was traveling, because I was quite busy over there, and I just didn't have time to do all that stuff. But point is that, and you can see that right now is September, and I actually stopped counting calories that detailed back in July because I got used to that way of eating. I became aware of what I was eating, so I don't have to overkill myself with details and every day count calories that I'm eating. No need in that. After I did that for a few months, I'm already aware of what I'm eating and how much in calories that would bring. And this is beautiful. So it's been several months since I stopped tracking, but I continued eating similar diet. I already have my favorite foods, and I know amount of calories that I eat. So no need for me to keep tracking that in that level of details. And there is one more thing which I want to show you here. Let's check out this food here, for example, deep fried calamari. Not the most healthy option for you to eat. Well, it's not super bad, but it's not super good. There is a lot of saturated fat in whatever is deep fried, and there is a lot of calories. But I'm still eating those sometimes because I'm not cutting all the food that I love from my diet. I'm just subtracting something that is heavy on me with something that is lighter. And sometimes when I feel craving, hey, I want to eat calamari today, deep fried calamari. We're meeting with my mentor in the restaurant, and I know that that restaurant cooks really great deep fried calamari. I'm gonna get it, no problem. But I'm not eating that every day. Sometimes, totally okay. And this is the system that I was using, and this is the system that I'm suggesting you to use. And let me show you something else. How you can figure out how many calories in something. As you can see, I have a list of products here, and this is what I usually eat, and the portions of here. And the way I calculated that, for example, let's take this one, oats with banana and raisin. That's one of my favorite breakfast meals, and as you can see, I eat it quite often, almost every day. That's what I start with, because it gives me a lot of good carbs, and this is just the way I start my day. So what I did, I calculated how many calories were in a bowl of oats. Then I took 100 grams of banana. So I Googled how many calories are there in 100 grams of banana. And then I calculated how many calories are there in 50 grams of raisins. And when I mix all that, obviously I sum up all those three numbers, and that's what I get, 350. And the way you can calculate number of calories, that's actually very simple. What you need to do, you just go to Google, you type in, for example, avocado calories, and it will show you how many calories each avocado contains. Google will either show it to you itself, or Google will, let's do it, avocado calories. there you go. So it shows me that in 100 grams of avocado, there is 160 calories. Moreover, it will show you nutrition facts. And as you already know, there are different types of fat, and there is good fat and bad fat. So in 100 grams of avocado, what do we have in terms of fat? We have 2.1 gram of saturated fat, and saturated fat is the bad one. But check it out. These two are unsaturated fats, and this one is polyunsaturated, and this one is monounsaturated. There are 10 grams of monounsaturated fat and 1.8 of polyunsaturated fat, which is amazing. And 2.1 grams of bad fat on 15 grams of total fat, that's totally fine. It's not like you're eating too much of bad fat. On the other hand, you have a lot of good fats. And as a word of caution, by the way, when we are talking about fat, be very careful about fat that you eat. Even avocado, even walnuts, as I gave you in the example, they're good. They have good fat. In fact, let's check it out. Walnut. Oops, let's do this. Calories. Walnut calories, 654 calories in 100 grams. But let's check the fats. So 65 grams of fat in 100 grams of walnuts, and that's 100% of your daily intake. This means that you should not be eating more than 100 walnuts. And you see, getting back to my example, I was eating 300 grams of walnuts a day, so I was consuming 3 times more fat than what I was supposed to. And 3 times more fat, in spite of that was a walnut fat, like that was unsaturated fat, which is good for my body. Still, eating too much of that fat was not doing me good. And what you can see that there are 6 grams of saturated fat, but that's not much at all. So that's 30% of what you can eat for the saturated fats during the day. So that's fine. And this amount of good fats, 47 grams and 9 grams of good fat. This is it. That's the way you count calories. That's how you can count how many calories are there in each food. And the other way to do that is to check out food labels. And I'm gonna bring up McDonald's as an example. Whenever you consume something, check the food label. Check how many calories are there before you eat that. This is the secret. And let's check out some burgers. So what we have here, well, the first one, Angus classic bacon and cheese, 780 kilocalories. That's insane in just one sandwich. Then you can dig deeper into specific things that are there. And let's check out fat. So 41 grams of fat. Among those 41 grams, 18 grams is saturated fat, which is bad for our body, and 1.5 grams of trans fat, which is also bad for our body. And there is no unsaturated fat, which is a good one. So all this fat, all 41 grams, is a bad fat for you. And altogether, that's 98% of bad fats that you can eat during the day. Basically, if you crave for bad fat, for saturated and trans fat, then you can eat one of these burgers, and that's it. That's all you can consume during the day to stay within the daily recommended limit of saturated and trans fats. But what usually people do, they don't get only the cheeseburger or only this burger that we're looking at. They also get, I don't even know, I think a friend of mine usually buys some fries. I'm not a McDonald's customer, so sorry guys, I don't know much about their menu. But I know for sure they offer fries. That's a great upsell. and that's the way they make quite a lot of money. So in one medium box of fries, there are 350 calories. So you consume one burger and one fries, that's already 1,000 calories. And sometimes people get ice cream. Let's see if they have ice cream in here. They do. So milkshake, 508 kilocalories. That's the medium one, and I bet that most of the people get the large one. Blueberry cream cheese Danish, 330 kilocalories. That's a lot. So basically, after going to McDonald's and getting their one standard meal, you consume half of your daily intake. And in there will be quite a lot of bad calories, which are not good for your health. And I'm not saying that McDonald's is bad, and I'm not saying that you should not be eating McDonald's. I'm just trying to make you aware of what you're eating if you go to restaurants like McDonald's. And you guys do your own research and do your own thinking and make your own decision whether you want to go to restaurants like McDonald's and other fast food restaurants or you don't want. Just check the food labels. That's the most important thing. Okay, that's been quite a while in this video. Before I finish, let me show you just one last thing last little trick that I used in my case study. Let's just check calories burned. You can see that I have quite precise numbers here: 3,534, 3,750, 3,435, etc. So the way I calculated calories is simple. I just got a Fitbit. Let me bring it here. Fitbit. Here's it. This is just the pedometer, and it costs only $100 on Amazon. But what it does, it counts your steps, it counts how many miles you walked during the day, it counts how many calories you burned. You specify all these parameters in there, in that Fitbit, and it starts automatically tracking how many calories you burned. And when you go and exercise, this thing knows that you are exercising, and it gives you it calculates your calories as more active calories. And my secret to burning calories, and I think you already know this secret, is walking. So every day I walk at least 15,000 steps, and that brings additional about 1,000 calories that I burn during the day. And it doesn't take much, maybe a couple hours of walking, and I enjoy that. I don't have to go to the treadmill, I don't have to go to gym and work really hard to burn calories, because let's be honest, that's not sustainable. If you go to gym and you work really hard, it's very hard to keep that at the sustainable level because it's hard. And lots of people give up, they don't have time, and I cannot tell that myself I can go to gym consistently. But what I can do for sure, I can do very nice walks, refreshing walks. I work during the day, my brain gets killed, and closer to the night I just take an hour walk. Or during the lunch, if I want to refresh my mind, I just get out and I do a little walk, maybe 30 minutes. Sometimes it's an hour, but it's nice. Especially right now, it's summer, great weather. I just get out and I enjoy the weather. Or I meet with my friend. I don't stay in coffee shops anymore because that's not productive for me. I just invite them to take a walk. And we're walking for an hour or two and we are talking, and we have the same fun as what we did in a coffee shop, but at the same time I'm burning calories. And 1 hour of active walking, and active, well, I should not be saying active, 1 hour of walking, which is not like completely relaxed walking when you barely move, just normal walking. 1 hour of that will burn you somewhere between 500 and 1,000 calories, kilocalories, which is amazing. As if you can get back to that calculator. Let's say that I need to burn 2,650 calories. If I do just couple hours, oh, hold a sec, did I tell you that 1 hour burns 1,000 calories? No, that's not the case. 1 hour will burn you about 500 calories. So couple hours of walking will burn somewhere around 1,000 kilocalories. So couple hours of walking every day, and remember, only 400 extra calories that you burn every day will bring your weight down by one pound every week. Imagine that you start walking just your normal routine. Whatever you did before, you eat the same, you exercise the same, but in addition to that, you started walking for 1 hour a day. That will burn about 1 pound every week. You do your own calculation. I hope you got this whole formula and calculation. So just getting back to Fitbit, what I was doing, I just set up, I entered all the parameters of who I am into this device. Well, you actually do that on computer or your mobile phone. And now this device knows who you are and how quickly you burn calories. And then I just leave my normal day, and at the end of the day, I check how many calories I burned. Or I can sync it up with my phone or computer and check it there. But it tells me the exact number, which I input in here. So calories burned, that's what I was putting. And calories consumed, that's what I was inputting here. And this is it, guys. Wow, it's been 35 minutes of video. I hope you enjoyed this case study and this whole explanation about calories counting. And I hope you really start counting your calories and just discovering what kind of food you eat and become more aware of what you consume, as well as you become more proactive about how you spend your day. Meaning that you start being a little bit more active, you start walking, and you start maybe working out at gym more. It's up to you. That's it. I wish you luck with your weight, and I believe I will see you in one of the next videos.